It is time to get a handle on your spending habits, and I could certainly use this myself. Todd Lane is here from Cal Coast Credit Union to talk about it. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
You know, this is such an important topic because it's so easy to get in debt for most people.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's things that we incurred years ago that come out of our checking account automatically that we stop paying attention to, automatic sorts of charges, those sorts of things that we just don't look at, that we need to look at.
Yeah, absolutely. So there was a recent study that showed consumer spending remained high last month. Is this a confidence in the economy? How is it looking?
I think so. I think it's a reflection of the low unemployment rate. People are back to work. I think wages are ticking up, albeit very slowly. Some of the retailers are suffering, and you wouldn't recognize that or know that because when you go to a mall, the parking lots are just jam-packed. But spending is pretty strong right now.
So when you really start to itemize it and you go down through it, how do we not get carried away with our daily spending?
Well, I think the first thing you need to do is look at your accounts that you have today and look at where you spend money. You have to keep very, very close sort of tabs on that and take a month where you record every single thing and you look at every single expense that you have. I think that's the first thing that you need to do. And then you need to look at your debt, where you have debt. Is it good debt or bad debt? And there is such a thing as good debt and bad debt.
Yeah, let's talk about that, though, because most people would think that just all debt is bad.
Well, it's not. I mean, there's discretionary debt where you incur debt on things spending that you don't need, things that you don't necessarily need. It's discretionary. Then there's debt that's good, that helps you build net worth or build wealth, like mortgage debt, like student loan debt, or perhaps you have a small business debt, that sort of thing.
So just you really have to know the difference between the two.
You do. And for your total debt, a rule of thumb is you want to keep it at 35 to 36% or below as a percentage of your gross monthly income. So your monthly debt payments ought to be below that number, that 35, 36% each month as a percentage of your gross income.
So how do we look ahead then and plan accordingly so we can kind of keep our eye on what we may be spending?
Yeah, I think it gets back to what I originally said, and that's keep very close tabs for at least a month on your discretionary spending, how you're spending every penny, whether or not you're buying a coffee at Starbucks every day. And it's a great thing to do. I love Starbucks myself, but when you're spending $3 to $5 every day, it adds up to quite a bit. Gym memberships. How often are you actually going to the gym each month? I found that I was going maybe 2 or 3 times a month and yet incurring a $30 to $40 charge. And so it's $10 every time I go to the gym, which is pretty expensive. I can avoid those sorts of things.
And then you were talking about checking credit history, because a lot of people think they get dinged on that, but you said you can check it. You check yours every month, and a lot of times you find stuff.
I do, and you want to check it probably at least every 3 months or even 6 months. But I check mine every month because it's free. I go on creditkarma.com, and it's karma with a K, and I just check it because you never know what's going to pop up. Recently, I had an item pop up on my credit report that hurt my credit score, and it was from something that was 5 or 6
right?
5 or 6 years ago. And it was a mistake. It was wrong, so I have to dispute that. But had I not known about that and I applied for a loan or tried to refi my home, it would have cost me.
Right.
So it's best to know that ahead of time and correct it ahead of time, and it's free.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you, Linda, they'll try and ding you, or they'll try and get you to buy a credit card or get another credit card on these websites where you get your free credit report. Just avoid those sorts of things.
Yeah, and just get your information that you need. Okay, so where can we get some more information on workshops and other things?
First place you need to go is calcoastcu.org, and there's a Know and Plan tab. We actually have a workshop coming up in Tirasena. I think it's at the Tirasena Library, and it's July 11th. And you can go on our website, get information about it, and sign up for it.
All right, Todd, thanks. Always good to see you.
Thanks, Linda.
All right.